Beloved, there are battles that every child of God must fight to enter their destiny. Entering your destiny is not a peaceful walk. It is a conquest. You must fight to possess what God has promised you. Today I want to talk to you about the battle of destiny, the same battle that the people of Israel fought to possess the inheritance God had promised to Abraham. The Bible says that God chose a man named Abraham and said to him, "Leave your country, your family, and your father's house, and go to the land that I will show you." It was there that God promised to give him an eternal inheritance. The Bible tells us that Abraham obeyed without hesitation. He left everything to follow the divine call. At that moment, God gave him a prophetic vision. In Genesis chapter 15, God said to Abraham, "A nation will come out of you, but they will be enslaved for 400 years. After those 400 years, I will deliver them, for I am the God who keeps his covenant." God was promising a glorious descendants, a chosen people, and eternal heritage. Abraham had two sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Spiritually, these two sons represent two types of inheritance. Ishmael represents the seed of the sand, the earthly, the material. Isaac represents the seed of the stars, the heavenly, the spiritual. When God told Abraham, "Look at the sand of the sea and look at the stars of the sky," he was revealing two dimensions of promise, a natural blessing represented by the sand and a spiritual blessing represented by the stars. And you, child of God, you are not from the lineage of the sand, you are from the lineage of the stars. You are not called to crawl on the earth, but to shine in the heavens. David said, "I lift up my eyes to the hills, because those who are of the spiritual race always look upward." Say it with me, I am the seed of the stars. When God began to bless Abraham, a man named Lot was walking with him. But the herds of Lot and the herds of Abraham grew so numerous that conflict broke out between them. Abraham understood that some spiritual journeys require separation. And the Bible says, after Lot had separated from Abraham, the Lord spoke to Abraham. As long as Lot was with him, God did not speak. But the moment Lot left, the voice of God returned. There are lots in your life that you must let go of. As long as certain people, habits, or distractions remain, the voice of God will stay silent. But when you separate yourself from them, revelation returns. Say with faith, "Lord, separate me from everything that hides my destiny." The journey of Israel to possess the promised land symbolizes the four great battles that every believer must fight to enter their destiny. The first is the battle of Exodus, the battle of beginnings. It is the fight to leave Egypt. Leaving Egypt means leaving your comfort zone, breaking with your past, and overcoming the fear to start. Many people pray, but few dare to begin. The greatest battle in your life is the battle of the first step. If you don't begin, God cannot move you forward. Remember, Moses had to strike the sea before the path opened. The miracle always comes after the action. The second is the battle of Leviticus, the battle of sacrifice. Leviticus is the book of offerings and consecration. Every great destiny requires a price. You cannot reign without an altar. You cannot enter your glory without accepting the pain of surrender. David said, "I will not offer to the Lord a sacrifice that costs me nothing." Great destinies are built on silent sacrifices, nights of prayer, tears, renunciations. But know this, your sacrifice today prepares your glory tomorrow. The third is the battle of numbers, the battle of the desert. This is the battle of perseverance. The desert is not the end, it is the process. Israel spent 40 years in the desert because they did not keep the right attitude. What could have been accomplished in 40 days took 40 years because their hearts were not aligned with God. Do not curse your desert. It is in the desert that God shapes, purifies, and prepares you. The fourth is the battle of Joshua, the battle of conquest. Joshua represents the entrance into the promise. After being formed, after suffering, after being tested, God said, "Be strong and courageous, for I am giving you the land." It is the season when you must walk by faith and possess what God has already released in heaven. The walls of Jericho will fall, not by your strength, but by your obedience. Beloved, destiny is not a dream, it is a battle. But in every battle, God is teaching you something. In Exodus, He teaches you to begin. In Leviticus, He teaches you to sacrifice. In Numbers, He teaches you to persevere. And in Joshua, He teaches you to conquer. So rise up, fight your battles, and walk in your divine destiny. For you are the seed of the stars and your time has come.